It's time for Peachy's PIF review.
He's my puppy. This is Alfie. Say hi, Alfie. Are you camera shy? Good boy. Hello PIF watchers, it's me again. I'm sorry about the delay. I've been having a really busy week at work. Everything's been going on at once. So I'm sorry that this episode's a little bit late, but there's also another reason for it being a tiny bit late. But I'll reveal that later. So, this is episode 8, and this is going to be anti-bullying. This was requested by the LolMonster 2000, so thank you for that, LolMonster. I've got a few requests by you to do still yet, so watch this space. And also, if you love PIFs, be sure to go to the LolMonster's channel because she is really on the ball with PIF. She's putting up collections and I think she's going to start to do some reviews soon. So I'll pop the link down there. Go on. There's her channel. Go and watch it. And then come back and watch this, of course. This episode is going to have a little twist in that for this episode I have a lovely co-reviewer in the form of Mr. Luke Osborne. So I'll pass you over to him for now.
Hello everybody, my name's Luke and I'll be joining Peachy this week to review some of her PIFs on the subject of bullying, so this will be an interesting one. I'd like to introduce myself basically. I hope to do more videos with Peachy, her videos are great, and here we go.
Thanks for that, Luke. So, let's get this episode underway. I'm really excited about this one, although it is going to have a little bit of more kind of a sad twist to it because I've got a couple of stories to tell and I don't know, if you've experienced bullying you might find this episode a little bit distressing, but I'll try and keep it as upbeat as I can, because, you know, I love you guys and all that. Following the classic format of PIF review, there's going to be the classic, and the game changer, and the nightmare fuel, and I couldn't actually find a vintage clip, so I'm sorry about that, but I'll not let you down, I've got a bonus clip, so that'll wrap it up. So, for the first clip, we have the classic, and it is from the Need to Know campaign that was on television in the 2000s, or the noughties as some of you like to call it. So, enjoy.
I am the person you bullied at school. I am the person who didn't know how to be cool.
I'm the person that you alienated. I'm the person you ridiculed and hated.
I'm the person who sat on her own. I am the person who walked home alone.
I'm the person you scared every day.
I am the person who had nothing to say.
I am the person with hurt in his eyes. I am the person you never saw cry.
I am the person living alone with his fears.
I am the person destroyed by his peers.
I am the person who drowned in your scorn. I am the person who wished she hadn't been born.
I am the person you destroyed for fun. I am the person, but not the only one.
I'm the person whose name you didn't know. I'm the person who just can't let go.
I am the person who has feelings too.
I am the person just like you.
Make a stand. We're a band.
God, you can tell this video is from the 2000s. There's Natasha Bedingfield, that guy from Busted, Keisha from the Sugar Babes, Vernon Kay, Rio Ferdinand. God, so many celebrities. The entire point of the advert was to publicise the anti-bullying blue wristband campaign that went around schools around the time when I was actually about 12 years old, coming out of primary school and going into a whole new secondary school. I'm going to tell you a little snippet from my personal life, and I'm sorry if it's a little bit bittersweet. This topic is actually quite heartfelt and quite close for me because I don't know if you know about this, but I was bullied all throughout the time that I was in education. From primary school, I remember my dad actually finding one of my diaries from when I was about 6 years old, saying that kids were picking on me, calling me names, and saying that I didn't want to be around anymore. And that discovery and the amazing response that I had from my parents, they supported me, cherished me, and basically kept me going throughout the years of cruel bullying. And that's actually what's kept me here till today. So, an extra big thank you to my parents for that. I don't actually think this campaign did much to prevent bullying. More to the point, because I often found that the bullies themselves wore the wristbands to make a point. How hypocritical can you get? So back on topic, I went through every single one of these emotions that are mentioned in the poem that celebrities read out. I actually don't really like the celebrity endorsement. I think it kind of depersonalises the content of the poem. If maybe you'd had the children who'd gone through bullying who were brave enough to face up to the people who had done it, that would have made the PIF a lot more effective. That may be a bit cruel. I mean, I don't know whether any of these celebrities went through any kind of the things that I went through in my childhood, but I won't judge. Just having known faces out there kind of detracts from the content. So for scare factor, I don't think it's scary at all, it's more poignant if you prefer to call it that, so I'll give it a 0 out of 10. I'm sorry this commentating's been on for so long, but now I'm going to pass you over to Luke for his overview of this PIF. Take it away, Luke.
Well, the I'm the Person video is quite interesting because there's a lot of famous people in it. You've got Sharon Osbourne there, Rio Ferdinand the footballer, amongst many others. And it works to its advantage and disadvantage at the same time. I think the video wasn't very powerful, but it kind of had that feel that, you know, it's trying to associate it to everybody. So, you know, you've got I am the person, you used to bully, you know, so it's quite a personal feel to it, but I don't think it really works for famous people. That might just be me, but for a factor out of 10, scare factor, I'd give it 1 out of 10. But if it was in regards of effectiveness, I'd probably give it a 4. But overall, I don't think it's a very effective PIF. But that's just my view.
Cheers, Luke. Now we go on to the game changer, and this one is from the UK LGBT rights group Stonewall in their campaign against homophobic bullying, which features Syrian McKellen. Enjoy.
Puff, fag, rug muncher,
bender,
gay boy, leather,
batty boy,
bummer,
dyke. These words hit me.
Fag,
Dyke,
batty boy.
I get called names all the time, especially in the changing rooms.
The others are always saying, "That's so gay," or "You're so gay."
People call me gay every day and say, "Don't come near me, queer."
They hit me like fists.
Everyone looks at me. They push me in the corridors, and the teachers just turn a blind eye.
We were told by a teacher that if a boy came out as gay, it would have to be reported, so I was too scared to come out to anyone.
We're told gay people will go to hell because the Bible condemns it. It's just horrid. It makes you want to go and cry.
I was not aware of my sexuality at the time. Girls called me lesbian and bullied me and made me depressed and suicidal.
They tear me apart.
I've been verbally assaulted, punched and had scissors thrown at me.
I really couldn't take it anymore. I had to be taken from my lessons because it got so bad.
I was beaten up and unable to walk for nearly a year.
I've been stabbed because of my sexuality.
Once a girl in my year pulled a knife on me and said all dykes should be shot.
Homophobic bullying in schools has to stop.
I knew 4 really great teachers that helped me. The school librarian was amazing and I owe her a lot.
I can speak.
Our school has a strong anti-discrimination policy for all minorities. We're all aware of this, and so hardly any bullying occurs.
I can learn.
Our school had a staff training day on how to deal with anti-gay bullying, and we had assemblies all about homophobia. It was brilliant.
I can be me.
If we want to stop homophobia, we need to start in our schools.
I've called this one the game changer because it's only in recent years that there have been proper campaigns to do with homophobic and transphobic bullying in schools. Back when I was at school, I think people back in the 90s and noughties were still apprehensive with publicly coming to terms with their sexuality, although it was a lot better than it had been in the past. And as I advanced through secondary school, I did actually see a few instances of homophobic bullying firsthand, and I'll tell you now, it sickened me. How anyone can target someone because of who they choose to be or who they choose to love, I will never ever understand. Back on the content of the PIF, before I go into full public speech mode, I think the use of Syrian McKellen's narrative gives this advert the real punch it needs to get through to the generation. Syrian McKellen is a fantastic actor, LGBT rights advocate, and just an all-around awesome human being. In terms of effectiveness, I actually really like this advert. It gives examples of what people need to look out for, reinforces the importance of sticking up for people and looking out for your mates, and it actually gives an important insight into what someone who's experiencing homophobic and transphobic bullying might go through in their school time. And if you think about it, absolutely nobody should have to go through with this. In terms of scare factor, it's going to be another 0 out of 10, but I have to give absolute kudos to Sir Ian McKellen for standing up for young LGBT people once again. He's awesome. Seriously. Luke, what do you think?
Right, the second video about homophobia. Well, I think it's a very, very effective and impacting video. I think even though there's no people in the actual video, it's so effective because of the words, the actual experiences told to the audience. It's just very home hitting. It goes through some of the typical abuse that people get, and you can really associate or at least know about it. You hear about stories in the news all the time. I would say overall I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a very effective video. It feels quite personal, but at the same time it's not too, it doesn't include any graphicness or anything like that. It's a very good video, and I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Sound. Well, this is the one you all look forward to. This is the Nightmare Fuel, and this one is courtesy of the amazing group Cyber Mentors, and it is a weensy bit graphic. And this one's called, well, I don't know what it's called. It's called You Can Speak Out Now, but I'm going to call it Horrible Stitched Mouth Advert. You'll know why. Just makes you cringe, doesn't it? I'm going to take a turn and be a little bit depressing in my commentating once again, so sorry. But, well, bullying's a pretty depressing subject. It's the one that touches far too many children and families' lives. While you might think, bloody hell, how would anyone have the nerve to soap their own mouth? Just think there are people who are so driven by bullies to try and go further than that. People try to take their own lives because of other people's cruelties. Words hurt. I'm a survivor of bullying, but I still bear the scars of what people had put me through way back then. I'm proud to be a survivor. I'm very, very proud to say that. And this actual anecdote isn't personal to me, it isn't about me, but it's tragic. This campaign was created in memory of the bullied schoolgirl Megan Gillen, who tragically succeeded in taking her own life after facing continual bullying both online and in school. She died on January the 19th, 2009. Megan's family fully support the campaign and sincerely hope that no other family suffers the kind of loss that they encountered. I suppose I was actually lucky that in the days when I went through bullying, we didn't have such wide access to things like Facebook, email, Twitter, and other online methods of bullying. Now people are becoming more and more cruel, as they're allowed to be anonymous or behind screen names. It's such a damn shame that cowards like those who bullied Megan succeeded in their endgame. I hope they can live with themselves. In terms of effectiveness, I don't think this PIF addresses much of the problem and instead focuses on having an image burned into your corneas that seems to be a physical manifestation of the silence that thousands of children endure every single day. I actually remember this PIF debuting, and all the hubbub that went around it. I think it's not too effective at delivering the message, but it was effective at displaying a service that young people who feel sort of the mental manifestation of what they were showing in the advert. They're offering an alternative. They can talk to a cyber mentor. However, sadly, this PIF was refused permission to broadcast, thanks to Clearcast, who deemed the image of the sewn mouth too brutal an image for young audiences. Despite being banned for television, it's been quite successful in the viral video stakes, and it's been seen on one of the main uploads over 100,000 times. And if that actually helps one child, I think it's all been worth it. So for a scare factor, I'll round this off by giving it a 6 out of 10. I'm very sorry for rambling on again, so I'll pass you over to Luke so that he can give his 2 cents.
Well, time for that nightmare fuel, and this video, very different to the previous 2, of course, and it kind of, obviously, it's about a girl who doesn't know who to talk to in regards to her bullying, and it is very, very home-hitting again. It wasn't what I was expecting. I thought, in all honesty, it was going to end with her harming herself in another way, or, you know, maybe like a suicidal end to it. But it was still very, very moving. You know, you've got the music in the background. It seems quite chilled out, and at the end, she stitched her mouse up quite graphically. And I would say, you know, it is an effective video, especially to a young audience. And I'd give it a 7 out of 10 overall for that video. It's definitely a very effective video. But I think, you know, it's obviously quite a short one. It's a generalised view on bullying, but it's a good video.
Cheers, Luke, and for the final clip of this set I'm going to give you the bonus clip, which is in place of the vintage clip. And this one is courtesy of our good friends over at the NSPCC and is called Suffering in Silence. I actually think that this PIF actually just speaks for itself. I think any commentary that I'd add onto it would actually detract from the message, apart from the fact that I know what it's like to suffer in silence and I know how hard it is for someone to speak out. Overall scare factor, I'd give this a 1 out of 10. But I really like this campaign. It delivers a short and sweet message, but to a good point. Over to you, Luke.
Right, time for the bonus. Brought to us from the NSPCC, who have obviously done a lot of videos in the last few years. Not quite sure what it's all about, to be honest, is it, to the last minute? You just see silence, and to be honest, you wouldn't be sure unless you knew it was a bullying video. But right at the end, you know, it's a message, and it's an effective message, I think. It's probably not understood by everybody, because it's quite a subtle message almost, but very effective nevertheless, and I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It's a very, you know, simplistic video, but it just goes to show that there's so many people out there facing bullying, and whatever it was, it doesn't mean silence. Silence could mean depression or anything. But it's mainly aimed to bullying in this episode, but I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
And I believe that wraps up episode 8 of PIF Review. So, I will see you in episode 9. That's bye from me. Bye from Luke, who I hope to collaborate with again sometime. And have a nice day. Bye. A vintage clip. And this one is courtesy... Bloody hell! Let's try that again. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it's pissing down outside. It's so rainy, it's unreal. And after we've had the heat wave, I think it's welcome. Also, look what I found in Tesco. The end! Oh my god, 90s kids rejoice.